mom and dad, my brothers, the four of us. It was pretty great. My brother's only a year older than me, so like, we were really close. We did everything. We did family vacations. We did going to Door County in Wisconsin and like go sailing and skiing. We did all this like family stuff, and it was so good. My life was literally perfect. Like from I can remember, I didn't have any complaints. And then I remember walking home one day with my brother from the bus, and there was a for sale sign in our front yard, and I had no idea what was going on. I was like, no one told me we were moving. Like, what's happening? And I find out that my parents got divorced. My mom moved out, and I was 6 years old, so like now it's 14 years ago, and I thought my life was over. I was like, well, now what do I do? Like, do I still live with my parents? What do I do? And so what happened is my mom, she moved about 20 minutes away, and then my dad, we ended up moving out of that house and moved literally 2 miles down the road. So now I was 6, my brother was 7, and we had to keep track of 2 houses. So we had like double everything. We had double responsibility. We had a different schedule, so it wasn't the same schedule like get on the bus, go home every day. It was like get on the bus, and now when am I going after school? And it was a lot to keep track of when I was little. And growing up, we went to a Lutheran church. My mom took us to church every Sunday. When my parents got divorced, my dad took us to church still, but I knew he did it for us. He didn't do it for himself. My dad's not a believer. And it never really bothered me. Like, it never really resonated in anywhere. I was like, oh, like, we're going to church for me. It was like, just what you do on Sunday. And so, continued going to church, and got confirmed, got baptized, first communion, like all that stuff. Mostly just because everyone else was doing it. It was just a thing that you did, and I was going through like middle school, elementary school, just kind of what everyone else did. And got to high school, confirmation was totally social. It wasn't anything that really was focused, and there was different high schools with some of the same church, so you got to see a bunch of people, and it wasn't really, the purpose of it was not really resonating in me. Like, it didn't really have the purpose that it was supposed to. So I got accepted to Madison, and I'm like on top of the world. I'm like, I got in here, I'm going to walk onto the rowing team, I'm going to do all this stuff, like me. And it's like, literally, I was just doing everything for myself. Got to college, dropped church, didn't really go anymore. It's not that I didn't believe or didn't like, follow it or know about it, but I just kind of let it go. And after freshman year, rowing started going a little downhill, wasn't going the way I planned, and my grades came back and they sucked. And kind of had a meltdown. I was like, well, awesome. Like, I built this foundation so high up for myself, and it literally was crumbling. I had no sturdy foundation. It's not like I could just go home and cry to my mom or my dad or do something else. And I really didn't know what to do. And Anne started literally dragging me here. She won't say it, she won't admit it, but she was asking me every single week. She's like, why don't you come, why don't you come, why don't you come? And I was like, well, you know what, I have homework this week, so I can't. Or I've got something else to do. I got to sleep in the morning or something. I was given an excuse. And then finally I just kind of stuck with it. I was like, okay, fine. Like, I will go, so you stop begging me to come. And so I came, and for a while I was in social scene. Like, I got to see out you guys, and it was an excuse not to do homework, and it was kind of like that kind of thing. And then, I don't know, something kind of just clicked where it was like, and then when I missed it, I was like, oh shoot, like, I didn't go to AA this week, or I didn't do this. And it started to become something I really looked forward to instead of something that was an excuse to go to not do something else. And literally being in this community has really brought me back. So it wasn't like I just like dropped it and like didn't want anything to do with it. It was just like, I kind of just like pushed it to the side because like I was focused on myself. And then when everything started crumbling, I realized I had to do something else, and I had to look for something else besides myself. And I needed to build a sturdier foundation, and I couldn't just rely on myself or other people because that stuff's not always going to last. So AA became part of my routine, Bible study became part of my routine, church became part of my routine. And it was something that I really enjoyed, and it wasn't something that was just to do because everyone else was doing it anymore. And I remember last year we went on the retreat to Chicago, and that was really where I got a lot more comfortable talking to other people, besides people that I knew personally, so like talking to girls on the team or anyone else who I see every single week. I was talking to people from other schools and talking to kids who didn't know anything about the Bible. And that's kind of where it just clicked, and it's like, God's going to use me, and like everything I do and everything that happens to me is like filtered through his hand. So I'm not going to be put up against something that I can't do. And it was really just finding that my self-sufficiency when I was little and through high school when it kind of crumbled, I had to turn to something else. And God was really the place where I can put that foundation and build from there and put that reliability and stuff. And I know that's not going to change. So it literally was growing up was a routine. High school, freshman year, kind of wavered a little bit back and forth, and literally last year is where it really came back together. And I have my teammates to thank for that a lot. So I just want to shout out to you guys, because you guys really helped me through that. So if you have any questions or anything, or if you want to talk at all after this, I'd be happy to. But that's where I am now. So.